right, guys, welcome back to the ALGS channel. Hope you guys are all doing well and having a great day so far. Now that ALGS championships are finally over for year 3, it's all starting to mellow out. Everything's starting to come down. The rise and fall has happened, and it's all time to decompress. And just as quick as it ended, we are already getting word back that some players, and one specific player that is very impactful, is already set to return into year 4. Now, which roster will he find himself on? That is the question of the day. And we've got some storylines, stat lines, number to run as well, and then also some roster change conversations coming out of some of your North American pro teams about another North American pro team that needs to make a change, and maybe even multiple changes. So if you guys want to stay up to date all things Apex Legends esports related, you guys know what to do. Of course, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Without further ado, folks, let's go ahead and dive right into this. First thing I wanted to make mention of here, this was coming out from Apex Status, basically saying that here were the KD stat lines for champs. Now, I know a lot of people were giving Big E a lot of praise, and Verholst basically saying, you know, this guy's the best controller go. Even Hal was saying that at the tournament, saying, you know, he deserves all the praise. He's the best controller player. And even going into this tournament, I think myself included and a lot of other people had already been saying for a couple of weeks going into this prior that Verholst may have actually been the TSM CEO for quite some time. He has been the one carrying that squad, in my opinion. Now, I did say after champs, although I still stick behind that, although I think Verholst was the missing piece for this roster, I do think Hal was the MVP. You look at the stories, you look at the stat lines, you look at the numbers, you look at the KDs, you look at the kills. There was no one doing what Hal was doing, and Hal was by far the CEO from this tournament, and the KD MVP as well. So you can see that number 1 Hal with 60 kills, number 2 was Easy Flash with 60 kills as well. However, Easy Flash did have a little bit more damage with 33,000 and 30,000 for Hal, but you can see that the KD was what was so big and the gap was so huge coming out of Hal. So you had a 2.14 versus a 1.88. Big numbers coming out of the man himself. Now, you can see Verholst is actually in this list just a little bit further down. Not as many kills and not as good of a KD as well. So a very interesting way of playing the game. I mean, I've not seen Hal do that much kills and that much kill leading and that much damage leading. I mean, the guy had been doing some insane stuff all tournament. That was tippable, to say the least. That is a version of Hal that when he shows up like that, they normally win, and that's exactly what they did. So shout out to TSM. Obviously, you guys saw in yesterday's video taking the world championship, and that's a 1-2-1 placement for them. I think Raven has, ever since he joined, I think after 4 events, he has like an average of 2.5 placement. It's insane. The guy is such a good asset to their team as well. So TSM not only wins Monster Energy MVP, they also win EA Positive Player Award as well with Verholst. And that's actually a little bit funny because we do have to talk about how positive has Evan really been in some heated discussions, I guess, with the boys over from DZ. We'll talk about that in just a second. But if you guys did not see the prize payouts, TSM $600,000 to their name. Optic Gaming $320,000. Blackhand gets $210,000, and then the Dojo in 4th place here gonna get $170,000. You've got FaZe Clan getting $100,000, LG Shiva's getting $130,000, and then obviously the list goes down. You guys can see on screen about how much these guys got. Unfortunately, if you did not make finals, you got no money. Apparently these guys are all in the zeros, but I thought everyone that made champs got something, but maybe not. I'm not sure, but this is all they're showing on the Wikipedia page. NRG with only 24k, and then Interforce 36 with 18k. There's a lot of splits in that. There's a lot of coaches cuts. There's all kind of stuff, team cuts. I think some teams get like 10% of everything the players do, so it's gonna be a little bit less when we get down to the bottom of all of this stuff. But nonetheless, I was really excited to see how TSM performed and how all of this stuff went down. Now, we do need to talk about how exactly positive of a player was Verholst, because if you guys did not see the drama that went down with DarkZero, of course, they were eliminated early on in the bracket. Now, the problem was before TSM won the tournament, Jen Burton decided to take it to Twitter and say TSM were a bunch of clowns. Obviously, TSM was struggling at the time he tweeted this. I think they were at about 13th place in the finals. They looked not so good. That's when they reverse swept the entire bracket. They go triple win out and they win the tournament. Well, this obviously didn't age well, and so you had multiple rows, starting it off from Dunk, basically saying, wait, players are allowed to have phones on stage now? That's insane. Wait a second, I forgot you're not on stage. Hal obviously saying, oh yeah, not much going on here, but it was Reps and Verhulst starts it off saying, too early, mate. And then everybody's like, that's my positive player right there. And then someone's saying, he's on his revenge arc now, his evil villain arc. And then you've got Reps saying, you sat in the players lounge and watched us win. How does it feel? See you in the gym, little buddy. So it's just crazy stuff to see. I mean, these guys are really into it, and I love the beef. I love the rivalry. It is just so good for the content. It's so good for the esport, and I hope we see more of it. Although it is a little weird saying DarkZero not in the finals was obviously not what we're used to seeing. We're not used to seeing that at all. However, there's a team that was in the finals, Moist Esports. You guys know, you probably love, most people love, and they actually had a player a couple of months ago. His name was Prycyy. Prycyy has announced his return to Apex Legends. He posted this earlier today saying an update on my end after getting dropped for having poor mental health and being overall unenjoyable to be around. Apparently, I have been chilling out and working on it for the past couple of months. And so now I will be grinding Apex again to be the best possible player I can be, and I owe it to myself to be happy and those around me as well. Thank you to everyone who has checked in on me and has spoken to me in the past couple of months. You are the GOATs. With that being said, I will be looking for a team for year 4 of ALGS should it be announced. Have so far qualified for every ALGS land minus Texas. Didn't get to play in either champs. Can flex whatever legend, whatever role. Best suited for support and anchor, as that's what I'm best at. Playing internationally would also be very cool and should be a great opportunity in itself. My earnings are $70,000. Main achievements that I'm proud of. It goes on and on and on. Obviously, Prycyy is no. I mean, honestly, sure, he can put his achievements, but we all know who he is. We all know what he's done. The guy's at the top of APAC South, and I cannot believe that he's coming back. Which team does he find himself on? The only thing, obviously, he did say he is down for international. It would be nice to see him on a team, maybe not in the APAC South. But it would be cool, in my opinion, to see him go to ALGS Esports, because ALGS Esports is a team that dropped or actually released their player Fussy to go over to Moist after Prycyy was gone. What if Prycyy goes to ALGS, gets his revenge tour over on the organization that got the player that replaced him? I don't know. Just would be a cool storyline. That's all I'm saying. But obviously, if he's interested in doing some other stuff in other organizations and other realms of, regions and stuff, that might be a better play for him. But it is going to be, no pun intended, I did not mean to do this, it is going to be Prycyy, because it is not cheap to move like that. And obviously, you got to be wondering if they're even up for it at all. Now, speaking of roster changes, not only is it Prycyy returning, it is suspected by North American pros that Complexity should make changes. This was coming from Zach Mazer, Snip3down, on the podcast of Apex After Hours with Fallout, as they discuss what's wrong with the team dynamic from Complexity. If you guys don't remember, Phonyhead, obviously coming from that roster, was doing a lot of the heavy lifting, and this is what his former, or his now teammate Snip3down, had to say about that roster and why Complexity doesn't do good, and why they not need to maybe only make a change, but multiple changes. Roll the clip.
As much love as we all have for Monsoon, do you think Monsoon's a problem on that team? Phony to Monsoon, the difference from that ESA roster being what they were to now?
This guy was saying, in a very nicely manner, he was saying, changes might need to be made in many directions, because it seemed like Phony was doing the vast majority of the heavy lifting. Apex is all about making good calls. Mechanical skill is super good, don't get me wrong, but it's all about the calls you make at the end of the day. And Phony was providing that, and he's no longer there, and it's bad.
I think I'm going to elaborate on that a little bit. I think the difference between Phony and Monsoon is Phony is not afraid to give you an earful if you're making mistakes. Monsoon is
too good of a person
in chat saying, let's have some fun in 20th place. And I'm like, that's not me.
Yeah.
I'm the polar opposite of that. I'm not here at this event to have fun.
Right.
I'm here to win a tournament. I'm not, none of the people I'm competing against are my friends when I'm in game with them. I'm the polar opposite of that. I'm not here at this event to have fun.
Right.
I'm here to win a tournament. I'm not, none of the people I'm competing against are my friends when I'm in game with them. I'm cool with you as soon as the games are over, but this is a death match when it comes to
If
this
I see you in the
comp scene.
bathroom between
I'm
games-
sorry if I'm 20th and my teammate if I'm in 20th and my teammate is saying let's have some fun, like I'm fucking pissed. I'm
mad
so
at them for
mad.
typing that, yeah.
I'm
Dude.
so mad that that's even being typed in the
Bro,
chat. That like
we're literally in the walkout, and this guy fucking enemy is like, yeah, I think we'll play 6 today. I'm like, come on, bro. Like, what the fuck? Don't hit me with that.
Oh my
No,
gosh.
there's time for fun, and there's time for like locking it the fuck in. And I think, yeah, replacing Phony with Monsoon is just a completely different. I agree with Snipe. It's a completely different dynamic, and I don't know. We'll have to see what Complexity does.
So obviously we will see what Complexity does, but I think a lot of us know and expect what they will do, and that is nothing short of a roster change. I do think a roster change will happen with this squad. Love the boys over there. I think they all have great potential, all great players as well, but obviously they may be looking for a new dynamic and looking for a different style of leadership over in that camp as well. Not sure though. There's another team I was looking for to making a possible roster update, and we discussed this in yesterday's video, but a lot of people were not necessarily agreeing, and that was NRG. NRG, I understand, made finals. They consistently make finals, but we were talking about, you know, these guys are trying to get where TSM is, right? They think they should be there. They may be trying to look to be not only just in finals, but in the top. Look what DarkZero said. DarkZero had released in an article that anything outside of top 2 is catastrophic for them. How do you think they feel going into this? DarkZero is one of those teams that obviously they were doing so good, you wouldn't expect a roster change. Maybe it's a bad tournament, they come back better. Honestly, after seeing DarkZero win North American regionals and then drop their coach after winning, nothing is off the table for any team that's in this. DarkZero would not shock me or surprise me at all if they make a roster change, because they have expectations that are all the way up here. NRG is one that it wouldn't shock me if they don't, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do either, because I know that they want to get to that level. I know they want to be consistently where they think they should be at the top, and they obviously haven't been doing that. So it'll be interesting to see if it actually happens, but nonetheless, I am excited to see what NRG can do, because whenever, you know, Sweet wasn't mentioned in that whole IGL video, I know it lit a passion in him, right? He wants to go win, he wants to get back, and he wants to be better. Now, DarkZero though, that's the one we're going to be following. They may be making a roster change. I do know some things that have happened behind the scenes as to some potential roster changes that almost happened last year, and now they didn't happen this year. I don't know, it could happen, but I'm just saying, look, they have a high expectation. These guys are not here to laugh about getting 14th. That's no joke. They will make a change. If they're making changes after winning championships, you best believe they are looking to possibly make change after losing. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. No, not everybody agrees. Apex is a different game as well. You look at Call of Duty, if you got a bad tournament, I mean, they just pretty much cut to the chase. New roster. Apex is one of those where people will actually stick together a little bit longer, so it'll be interesting to follow that story. See you guys in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Of course, like and subscribe if you guys want to stay up to date all things Apex Legends esports related, and until the next time, I will see you all later, Gators.